Well, it's not an unusual sight here on Delmarva to drive by an open field and see somebody taking a joyride on an all-terrain vehicle or an ATV. And if you're the parent of a child who thoroughly enjoys rides like that, I don't have to tell you how nerve-wracking as a parent it can be.
Oh yeah, one accident can be devastating. The family of a 5-year-old little girl learned that lesson the hard way after a visit to her grandparents' house went terribly wrong. If Mary Simpson could turn back time,
she just comes out on weekends and visits her grandparents.
She would undo what she recently saw.
I thought it was just a car had, backfired or something, but then I heard a lady scream.
Mary ran out from behind her house to see her neighbor's granddaughter had somehow crashed her four-wheeler, similar to this one, into a small section of fence.
The way the leg looked, it don't look like just the barbed wire could have done it.
Mary says the bottom half of the little girl's right leg had been severed from the knee down.
She's 5-year-old, and got to live with this the rest of her life, and we all have too.
In the moments that followed, this 62-year-old, a grandmother herself, did her best to comfort the child as an ambulance arrived.
The little thing looked up at me, though, and asked me if she was going to die. Of course, that just broke my heart. I said, no, honey. I said, you're going to be just fine. These doctors are going to take care of you. They'll do a little work on you, and you'll be fine.
Still admittedly in shock today, Mary is talking about what happened in hopes it will serve as a lesson of sorts to other parents.
And I know parents, you don't think it's going to hurt your kids, but it could happen in a second, in an instant.
She understands the allure of these small ATVs to kids.
And once I saw her leg, that would be it. I didn't ever want to see another child on one.
But now she has a much deeper understanding of what they can do.
But it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, just about.
Now, the little girl still needs some additional surgeries, but is expected to make a full recovery.
That's the good news. Now, just because we don't hear about stories like this all the time, doesn't mean that similar incidents don't happen all the time. Your first line of defense is prevention.
And joining us today to tell us more is Dr. Chris Snyder, Chief Medical Informatic Officer and Hospitalist at Peninsula Regional Medical Center. Dr. Snyder, thanks for joining us this afternoon. The accidents like the one that we just learned about, not limited to ATVs, are they?
No, absolutely not. Skateboards, bikes, anytime you increase your velocity and end up on the ground, Mother Earth doesn't give way very well. So unfortunately what happens is you just create multiple injuries, and it can be as severe as death. And unfortunately there is a fatality rate with these that's seen throughout the country.
And we're not just talking about, we're talking about ATVs here, but what about these little cars, the little battery operated runaround cars that we get for kids like this one?
Sure, absolutely. Faster, more dangerous, most definitely. So again, there's a fair amount of sense that has to go with that, but you're sitting on an environment in an unstable environment. We drive on roads that are most of the time without potholes, although we can find those too, and it can create unleveling, and we're actually warned about that. When you ride off road, you're really running a risk of not seeing a hole under the grass, and the younger you are, the less likely you're going to have that responsibility.
What kind of injuries are we talking about? I mean, pretty severe, losing a limb like a little girl, little 5-year-old, to bumps, bruises, things like that? Yeah,
lacerations, cuts, you name it. Head injuries are by far the most dangerous, and then you have neck injuries. Those put you at the risk for fatalities. Under that, you're dealing with broken arms, legs. Again, the higher the speed, the more likely the risk of any of those injuries.
So other than simply not buying the ATV, is there something we can do in the way of prevention that cuts back the risk?
Sure, they recommend helmets, face guards, anything that's going to prevent you from those bumps and bruises. If the velocity is great enough, though, those things have limitations also. So it depends on what you hit if you come off of the vehicle and what rate you're moving. So, again, the slower the better as far as injury usually, although even low impact injuries can have a tremendous effect.
Yeah, if my child is on one of these and gets hurt, just a little bump or something, how do I know whether or not it's serious, whether or not to take him to the ER?
Yeah, when in doubt, get somebody to look at it who can actually put their hands on it and do imaging if needed, just to evaluate that. But again, if it lasts a period of time that you're uncomfortable with, and again, a 5-year-old in this case, they probably are not going to tell you a good history, so it's challenging. The younger they are, the more difficult that is, so you're better off having their pediatrician or an ER physician look at them.
I distinctly remember he was 11 or 12. Zachary, my son, went over to a friend's house and ended up riding their ATV, and I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, there's a concern with consent with anything. I mean, riding a bike, again, has risk with it. So, you know, ATVs just accelerate that just because of the speed and the velocity, and the, you know, where you ride them is usually not a very level surface. So,
So communication's important between parents.
Absolutely, yeah. So, you know, again, if your child's going to a party and it's at a farm and they're riding ATVs, the person owning the farm ought to definitely make those parents aware of the risk. And you know, they have an opportunity to say no.
All right, Dr. Snyder, good
Thank you so
information.
much.
Thank you so much. And to read more about PRMC, go to WBOC.com and click on our picture at the top of the page.
Well, still ahead on Delmarva Life. Hope you're hungry. It's time to eat. And up next, we're in the Delmarva Life kitchen with a couple of 80s recipes as we celebrate a day in honor of WBOC's 60th anniversary.
And oh yeah, the party wouldn't be complete without some music to go along with it. How about some Journey? Perhaps some Pat Benatar. The band Anything Goes is here to take us back. Delmarva Life, we'll be right back.